Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Barrow Wolfson, and I am an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. And I would like to welcome you to this episode of Me First Mornings, where we will be talking about self-sabotage. So I have an issue with that term, self-sabotage. And if you know me and if you've heard me speak, you've probably heard me talk about this topic. But I just think that self-sabotaging is such a negative term, right? And I don't think it's self-sabotage at all. I think it's self-protection. Okay, that critical voice in your head that's stopping you, though your body, that's preventing you from taking action, it's not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to keep you safe. And so the key is learning how to work with it and not against it. And that is what we're going to talk about in today's show. So keep watching to learn how to shift your mindset, embrace self protection, and take aligned action on your path to healing and growth. So that is our topic. If you're interested in what I have to say about that, then stick around. In the meantime, we're going to do our little warm up together. So if you're ready and you have a drink that you would like to join me, a nice warm, and I suggest a warm drink to kind of warm up to the day. But if it's hot where you are, maybe you want a nice cold drink. That's okay. No judgment here. And grab your candle if you have one, so that we can start our little session together. There we go. Still using my Pure Sage cleansing candle. It's been a cleansing week here, I guess. Please don't forget to say hi if you're watching. Oh, I forgot to change the color. I guess that doesn't matter. I do little things sometimes that you may or may not notice with my, there, I changed the color because I wanted to match. Not that I'm obsessed with branding or anything, because clearly I'm not. I just try to keep it simple. All right. So if you're watching, please just say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, where in the world you are watching from, because I know that I have viewers all over the world, and that's pretty exciting. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do our usual 3 deep breaths. All right. And as we take those deep breaths, okay, I'm ready. As we take those deep breaths, I want you to do this with me. And when you are inhaling, I want you to imagine that you are calling in all of that love, light, and life force energy that the universe has to offer you. Just bring it into your body, hold for 5 seconds. And while you're holding, I want you to imagine that beautiful life force energy going through your body and just dissipating and dissolving any stuck or stagnant energy. Okay. And then when you exhale, you release all of that stuck, stagnant energy that you were able to get out. Okay. And we ask the universe to please transmute it for us into something useful, or for the rest of the universe. Not really for us. I'm done. Okay. So here we go. 3 deep breaths. Let's go. And hold. And release. And keep in mind, you see how I'm exhaling through the mouth with pursed lips? You want that to elongate your exhale. You want your exhale longer than your inhale, because it activates the parasympathetic system. And so it tells your body that everything's okay and you don't have to panic, right? And that's what we want. We want to send our body relaxing messages, releasing the things that weigh on us, and just getting ready for our day. Let's do another deep breath. Okay, here we go. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Let's do it one more time. We're going to take a really deep breath, increase the capacity that our lungs can receive of that beautiful life force energy. We're going to hold it. We're going to just make sure that that releases anything else that needs to get dislodged from our stuck body, and we release it. Okay, here we go. and hold and release. Okay, great job. Hi, Mom. My mom's in Lisbon. Yay, thank you for sharing where you are in the world. Um, all right, so now we're going to stretch and do a little stretching as we always do. Just we want to keep, working out the kinks, right? Because all of that tension that we feel in our body is like stuck energy. It's like, it gets us all like kinked up, right? And it stops and blocks that energy from moving quickly through our body, right? What we want is the flow of energy through our body because that means that we are sort of receiving from the universe and then being able to release, right? We're receiving and releasing in a good flow, right? It's like in and out, right? Like the ocean, in and out. We are the same, our breathing in and out. And when there's stuck stuff in us, it's really hard to keep that flow because it stops us. We're like, oh, right? And then you're hurting, like my leg this week, but it's much better. My God, I'm so grateful for medicine. the I use the I've never done steroids before. I mean, I've never taken not progesterone. Oh my God, my brain. I've never taken the steroid whose name I can't think of because I can only think of progesterone. Um, but it's really effective and really helped my leg like immediately. My God, medicine is miraculous sometimes. I mean, always, but oh, okay, there we go. Do we feel good? Do we feel stretched out? If you need to stretch out any other part of your body, feel free to take as long as you want for this part or just, keep stretching. It's good for you. All right, so now I'm going to take this time to call in for our spiritual support team, or if you have one that you would like to call for yourself based on your spiritual beliefs, you can go ahead and do that now. And we're going to call them in as we set our intentions. So I'm going to just say my prayer. You could just join me. All right. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me set an intention that is in alignment with my highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us all the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pulled today and through the words of others today and always. I appreciate you, I serve you, and I'm grateful for any wisdom that you may have for me and the collective today and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. And so it is. All right. Just deal with it. Okay, so what is your GPS word? What is your intention for the day? I want you to sit with it for a moment and think, what would you like to accomplish, right? What feeling do you want to anchor in for your day? All right. And as you're thinking about that, I'm going to remind you to go ahead and subscribe now to my YouTube channel at Me First TV. The link is in the description. And remind you also that if you would like a personal reading, a strategy session, a couples reading, please go to my scheduler and book yourself an appointment at your leisure. The link is also in the description. And don't forget, if you have not yet downloaded your free Me First Guide to Transformation, that link is also in the bio. So please go ahead and get whatever you need from my offers. Okay. Whatever it is that can help you move along, then I hope that you get it. All right. This just keeping the chat open here so you guys can chat with me if you want or if you have any questions. All right. So here we go. What are we talking about today? Self-sabotage. Okay. So we've all struggled with the idea of self-sabotage, right? And it's one of those things that comes up a lot, like when you think about, when you, okay. So on a personal note, for me, as someone who has ADHD, undiagnosed, but I don't care because if you know me, it's true. Anyway, but as someone with ADHD, I would say that I spent a lot of my life feeling really guilty for self-sabotaging so many things. And a lot of that, now that I've learned how ADHD works and learned sort of a lot more about the brain in general, not just my brain as a neurodivergent, but other brains and how they function, it has become much clearer to me that there were things that felt out of my control, and and not that they were out of my control, but they felt that way. And so when I think of a term like self-sabotage, when I think of owning a term like that and saying, I am sabotaging my life, or why do I keep sabotaging my life? It just adds this extra layer of guilt and shame to what probably already is really difficult for you. Because if you have a dream, or if there's something that you want to accomplish in your life and you can't seem to get there, or you start to get there, but then you find that you're resisting or you're making choices that are not moving you forward, but in fact keeping you stuck or stagnant, it's easy to get lost in that barrage of inner critic that's like, you can't do this, you suck, like all of those voices in our heads, whatever your inner critic says to you, like, you think you're so smart, you think you can do this, that's ridiculous, whatever it is that comes out. I don't want to add any more guilt and shame. And so when I really started to think about it, I realized that what it is self-protection. It's not self-sabotage, because what happens is that when you are stretching, right? When you are trying to go beyond your comfort zone, when you're expanding, when you're trying new things, your brain, or sometimes as the psychological community calls it, your ego, right? I mean, in the sense of how we discuss it, right? Brain is not the ego, but when you're using your brain, or when we're thinking about things, right? Thinking about doing things, thinking about making changes, our whole system, our ego takes over and starts to react. That doesn't feel safe. I don't know what that feels like. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. And so your system, which is wired to protect you, right, is going to activate and start protecting you from this new thing. It doesn't matter that this new thing is going to lead to, incredible experiences. It doesn't matter that this new thing may be the exact thing you need in your life. It doesn't matter if this new thing is even your biggest dream, unless you have created safety in your life for this dream to come true, unless you have practiced or allowed your body to practice feeling that success, or feeling the good feelings you want to feel versus the bad ones, or God, I can't believe I said that. I don't mean bad at all, because there's no good and bad, okay? But we think about it that way, right? Like those negative emotions that kind of take over. We have a lot of guilt and shame about that too, right? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I, never look out for myself? And I have to tell you that the most important thing for you is to really just take a moment when you are struggling, when you find yourself in that place of self-sabotage. I want you to just stop and connect with yourself, and take some time to be kind and compassionate with yourself, and understand that your struggle or your resistance to doing things is not self-sabotage, okay? It is your ego, your inner critic. It is your little child inside that's trying to protect you from doing something that may get it in trouble, from doing something that it doesn't know what the result is going to be, right? It's trying to keep you safe, right? And so how do we deal with that, right? Because it's an automatic. We're automatically trying to keep ourselves safe. So we're automatically going to jump to potentially holding ourselves back, or what you might consider self-sabotage, in the interest of staying safe, in the interest of what our body feels is the status quo, right? Because anything beyond that is scary, right? And your body does not know how to feel around that. Your mind may not be able to grasp the energy of what it feels like to have what you want. And that's why I talk so much about practice. I talk so much about practice, and I'm going to talk about it again today, is that anytime you are making any transition, any change, any type of evolution in your life, the key is to practice. You're not going to get it right every time. You're not going to be able to just from one day to the next go, oh my God, it's not self-sabotage, it's self-protection. Sweet, no problem. I got this. And then you accomplish all your goals. No, right? You have to take time. You have to calibrate your energy to doing things differently. You have to practice over and over again, putting yourself first, bringing your GPS word into your body, feeling what you really want to feel, and getting used to and comfortable with feeling that feeling. Because if you have lived a hard life, if you've dealt with a lot of challenges, if you're disillusioned or lost or disconnected or frustrated or angry or sad or disappointed with your life, then it is really hard for you to put yourself into a position of succeeding, right? Because you're like sitting in that muck, right? But that muck becomes comfortable, right? It becomes the blanketed mess that you wrap yourself in, and it feels safe because you may not be happy, but at least you're not getting hurt any more than you are right now. Like, you know that you can handle this level of trauma, right? Because you're in it. You know that you can handle this level of disappointment because you're in it, right? But sometimes we stop ourselves because the idea of getting what we want, and this may or may not be subconscious, right? You may realize this or you may not, because that can happen on a program, on a loop that we don't even realize, right? But as you step forward and as you move forward and you try to do things that are beyond your comfort zone, you have to do it and calibrate gently, slowly, to let your body get used to it, right? So, for example, if it's about money, I always like to talk about money because that's something that's important to people, and you feel like you just don't have enough, right? What you need to do is get your body used to receiving more. Get your body used to um, feeling comfortable around money, right? This is why we talked about building your relationship. So back to our discussion on relationships from the Me First framework, right? The relationship that you have with your inner critic is and is what's going to dictate how much you work against yourself, right? What is going to dictate how much you are protecting yourself versus how much you are launching yourself into the future, how comfortable you are taking chances, right? And that all it does is take practice, okay? And I want you to think about it. Look, I want you to think about like life, like getting into a pool, right? So some people dive in head first, right? And other people walk in slowly. See, I'm a slow walker in the pool. Sometimes if I'm in a really spicy mood, like, yeah, I'll jump into the pool. But most of the time, I am one of those people that slowly moves in, puts the water on her arms, slowly tries to like wet myself so I can get used to the temperature, okay? But it doesn't matter, right? Like, and I have like my kids who are all like, jump in, right? Which is awesome for them. And if that works for them and if it works for you, that's great, right? But you get to choose how you get into the pool. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everybody gets wet. Everybody goes to have fun in the pool, even though some people jump in head first and go all the way, and other people take their time, and maybe it takes them half hour, 45 minutes, maybe a couple of days to get into that pool. But it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there, right? It doesn't matter how you choose to get there. That only matters to you, right? That's why the GPS word and why I talk about it so much. That's why it's so important, because it has to connect with what you are comfortable with. It has to happen in a way where you feel safe expanding, where you feel safe getting wetter and colder, right? Like in the pool. If you're someone who's like, I just want to get it over with, boom, boom, jump, awesome, then do that. And if you're like that in life, I'm sure that in your Me First framework for momentum, probably you like things to go quickly. And that's okay. That's wonderful, right? But if you're somebody who likes to take things slow and really wants to feel safe and comfortable as you do it, that's okay too. The journey is yours, and it's nobody else's decision as to how you want to take that journey. All right. So I want to give you 3 simple ways to shift your mindset and embrace self-protection as an ally. Okay, because it is your ally. It is there to look out for you, like your best friend, right? And we'll talk about that. So the first thing is I want you to be kind and compassionate with yourself, right? Should I put these on the board? Should I put these on the board? Okay, let's see. Can I put it in as captions? I can. Whew, all right. Number 1, let's show it. Be kind and compassionate with yourself. Okay, that's number 1. Now, I don't think I have to go really deep into this, but you're doing the best that you can. Okay, you don't need to add any more disappointment into your life by being disappointed in yourself. Now, I know at the end of the day, that's really the only thing that matters is how we feel about ourselves. And that's why we need to practice compassion and kindness, right? You have to meet yourself where you are in your journey. Not everyone dives first into the pool, right? People take time. People have different levels of trauma. People have different levels of experience. You yourself, have lived life up until now in a way that has served you in many ways, but maybe you're ready to release the things that no longer serve you and step into a life that serves your new purpose a little bit better, or your new version or your new self, right? So be kind with yourself. Change is hard. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, I guess I can't do it. No, it means, okay, change is hard. I accept that. I am going to be gentle and compassionate with myself and try to take it one step at a time. Just keep practicing. All right. Now, number 2, and this one, again, so much of the things that I talk about, they are connected, and I repeat myself over and over again. And the reason is because this type of information, and I'm sure you've heard this from other people, if you listen to other coaches, if you listen to other motivational talks, nothing of what I share is original, aside from my personal stories, of course. But I hope that I can put it in a way that you might understand it differently and it may be helpful for you. And again, I'm going to repeat it over and over again, because repetition is like practice. The more you hear it, the more it starts to settle in, the more you calibrate to that energy, especially if it's something that makes sense to you, that resonates with you. And then you can lean in and really anchor in those new choices, anchor in that new feeling as you practice more. All right. Okay, so the second thing, which I already put up, was building a relationship with your inner critic. Okay, so instead of silencing that voice and being like, shut up, I don't care, right? Which you may want to, right? But again, energy wants to be seen. Okay, energy needs to be seen. So that inner critic wants you to listen and pay attention to it. And the solution is not to ignore it and be like, no, 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 I'm not listening. No, no, no. No, okay, I mean, sure, you can, but that inner critic's voice is going to get louder and louder, and you're not, that's not a functional relationship, right? If you're fighting with yourself, or if you're ignoring parts of yourself, that is not building the relationship with yourself or your inner critic, or the universe for that matter. And we had that conversation yesterday, right? Like, you and the universe, we're the same, okay? We are spirit incarnate. So instead of speaking or ignoring that protector, right, who is really just your best friend looking out for you, then I want you to lean into that friend concept and talk to them and say, I know you're looking out for me, right? Because it's either like your best friend or like the little version of yourself that's like, oh my God, Trish, we're going to get in trouble if you do it. Stop, 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 right? And it's that scared little part of you that's just freaking out, right? So what do you say to that scared little part of you that's freaking out? You say, shut up, I'm ignoring you? No, I mean, you can. But what you say is, hey, I know you're scared. This is scary. We have not done this before, but I promise you that it's going to be okay and we're going to get through it. You can say, I've thought this through. You can say whatever, right? Whatever it is that you need to say to that part of you that's scared, right? And if you want to look at it as your inner child, if you want to look at it as your inner best friend, if you want to look at it in whatever way serves you, understand that critic, that voice that is telling you to stop, that is not spirit. That is not a warning from the universe. The universe doesn't say stop, okay? God does not say stop. What it says is it always gives you another suggestion to move forward, right? That's a whole other conversation, I'm sure. And if you want to hear about that, I can tell you. But the universe does not register no or like a not kind of language, right? Like, I don't want this. The universe doesn't understand that, right? It's always like, oh, I want this. It's wherever your attention goes, that's where the energy flows, right? With the universe as well. So you just need to keep that in mind when you are in the process. of, oh my God, guys, I just had a little brain fart. Thanks. Okay. I lost my train of thought. All right, build a relationship with your inner critic, okay? It's your best friend. It's your inner child. It's the thing that's trying to protect you from doing stupid things. And so you need to have a good relationship because sometimes you're going to do stupid things. And you need that inner voice to be like, whoa, hold the phone. That's a bad idea, right? That's a bad idea. That's what that ego protects, right? Oh, that's right. I was talking about the universe. The universe doesn't say stop. You say stop. The universe, instead of saying stop, will just say, go this way, right? Go this way. It says go, but it redirects you, right? And that is how we need to speak to our inner critic. We're not going to be like, no, stupid, you're wrong. We're going to be like, of course you're right. Of course this is scary. Of course we've never done this and it feels terrifying, but that's okay because we're going to do it anyway. Because I trust that we can get through whatever comes our way. I trust that this decision is the right decision because I feel it, because I'm inspired to do it, because everything is telling me that I should move forward and take this step. So even though you're scared, that's okay. You can stay with me, but I'm driving. I'm the one driving the car, and I'm the one that's going to say where we're going. You can just sit in the back seat and stay quiet, right? Respectfully, and I love you. Okay. So work on building that relationship with your inner critic. And then when you start taking those steps, those small steps that you may feel a little less resistance to, right? As your inner critic starts to loosen up and maybe go, okay, I see, let's try, right? As you become more curious, as you step forward and start, practicing doing things a little bit differently and your body starts to feel safer, well, then what it does is it brings trust, right, into the relationship. That is you taking small steps for yourself, saying, I'm going to do this, and then not allowing that critic to stop you, then brings you closer, right? Brings you closer to that part of you that's scared, right? Also giving that part of you that's scared evidence that it's possible and dissolving that fear, dissolving that anxiety, dissolving any doubts that it may have about your ability to take control and do things in the way that you need to do them, right? That relationship is key for you getting things done for the rest of your life. Because if you don't let it stop you, you bring it in and make it your ally and say, yes, I want you to prepare me if you think something's up, but we can handle it. We got this. Then you will be unstoppable. Now, the third step, which I want to encourage you in this little adventure of trying to, where am I? Show. Okay, number 3. How come it didn't put the, hold on. Come on now. Let's try that again. Let's try again. Okay, did it now. Okay, so here we go. Create safety around your next steps. So how you're going to build a relationship, of course, with your inner critic, but regardless of how good that relationship is, if your body does not feel safe taking a step, making a call, taking some sort of action, guess what? You're not going to be able to force your body to do it either. I mean, you can force your body, but it's going to be very uncomfortable. So what you need to do is create safety around that choice, create safety around those actions that you're going to take. Okay. Fear thrives when you feel unprotected. And when you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, you feel unprotected. You feel unsafe, unsure, because you don't have any confidence in what's next because you haven't experienced it. So it's very overwhelming and scary. Right? So I want you to think about when you're about to take a step and you feel the resistance or the inner critic saying, hell no, I want you to ask yourself, what can I do that would make this step feel safer? Okay. What can I do to make me feel safer? Right. And think about that for yourself. It might be asking for support, like asking someone to just be with you as you do it, right? It might be taking a tiny, tiny little step. Like, let's say you have to reach out to somebody. It might be easier to reach out to them on email versus a phone call. So if you're like, I really should call them, but you find it easier to send an email first because it kind of eases you into contact, well, then start with the email. You do what you need to do to take the step that you need to take. in a way that feels safe, right? In a way that feels comfortable to you. Because as you start to take these steps and make yourself feel more and more comfortable, you are shifting your energy. You are practicing being comfortable doing these uncomfortable things. And that is what's going to get you to do more and more and more, right? Remind yourself that you are capable. You are capable of doing anything, right? And don't forget, if you're feeling incapable, I want you to bring out that success bank that we talked about yesterday, right? Which hopefully you have as a journal or in a notebook or on your phone somewhere. If you're feeling doubtful of yourself or your abilities, go to that success bank and withdraw one of those things and take a look at the things that you did that you didn't think you could accomplish. That's what that's there for. It's there for you to see with your own eyes the things that you have been able to accomplish. So when you are doubting yourself, give yourself the proof that that doubt is incorrect, that you are wrong, and that you are in fact much more capable than you think you are. And when you feel safe, you will take action. The safer you feel, the more action you take. The more action you take, the more momentum you get. The more momentum you get, the closer you get to the thing you want, and boom, boom, boom. Suddenly your life is shifting and changing, and you're doing new things, and you're on a whole other level. And that takes practice. You're not going to figure this out one time. You're not going to figure it out overnight. You can figure it out through time, through dedication, and through commitment to feeling comfortable, to building that relationship with yourself, and not being afraid to, not being afraid, but making it safe for you to be able to move and take actions that are going to bring you out of that comfort zone, that are going to help you evolve, right? Because that is what we all need to do, right? That's how we move forward together, right? Is when we start to do things that we are afraid of, and then we gain confidence in them. When we do things that we're resistant to, but then see that we can do it, right? We are building a relationship with ourselves and, of course, with the universe too, because the universe always has your back, all right? I really want you to understand that you are much stronger than you think you are. And even if there's something that you're facing that you are like, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to pull up the courage to do this, I implore you to practice in whatever way you can. Create safety around one small step and start moving in the direction that you feel called to. I promise you, if it's in your heart to get it done, if it's in your heart, if you dream about it, if it feels like part of your mission, then it is absolutely meant for you. And although you may not be able to accomplish it now, although you may not have been able to take steps up until now, I promise you, with a little practice, a little compassion, and a closer relationship with yourself and with your spirit team, you're going to be able to shift things and move in the direction you need to go for your connected and fulfilled life. Okay, so let's pull a card because it's time for me to wrap it up. I hope that was helpful. Let me take that out. You don't need that. All right, and let's see. I'm going to pull a card from my Luna Soul Tarot deck. Okay, love this deck. All right, now let's see. What do the cards have to say about self-sabotage? Okay, what does Spirit have to say about self-sabotage? Which is not self-sabotage, it's self-protection. Okay, I don't want you using that term anymore. Okay, if you learn nothing from this episode, I want you to reframe that word from self-sabotage, and I want you to anchor into the idea of self-protection, right? Because then, right, you can shift into, because it's not then, oh, I'm so stupid, I keep sabotaging myself, right? That's terrible. It's terrible to live with that thought, right? But if you're like, oh, I'm protecting myself, this must be something really scary. This must be something really big because I feel that resistance. And the more resistance you feel, and here's a secret, the more resistance you feel, the probably the bigger the opportunity on the other side. The bigger the resistance, the more you are against, not against it, because, there's like being opposed to something because you don't feel safe in your body for other reasons. But if you're just like really scared and can't seem to do it, but it's something that you want, the more resistant you are, the more impact it's going to have on your life. Oh, I promise you. The harder it is for you to do, the better you're going to feel once you get it done. Okay. All right, cards. What do we have to say about this? Okay. Duality is the card that came up. Now, once again, you guys may or may not remember from this deck, duality is unique to this deck. This is not a tarot card. Okay. So let's read what I mean, come on, guys. This, of course, makes sense, right? Duality. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Duality. You'd think, oh, did I find it? Maybe. Yes. The wind settles the seed of opposition at the zenith of self-assurance, and we turn and we grow. Where lies absolute reality when one thing depends upon another? The great without the small, the beautiful without the homely, active without the passive. For each, they are merely two sides of the same mountain, one bathed in light and the other cooled in shade, both of equal value. How do we judge by our own absolute standard when a truth for one may not be so for another? Our inner worlds, perceptions, experiences, each as unique as our fate. What is fair to one may be an injustice to others, an intransient binary, rarely crossed. Observe the duality and know the interrelation. Perspective defines all. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of self-sabotage, which I don't like to say, and self-protection, right? Because it's all about the shift of your perspective. It's about understanding that, you have goals and things that you need to evolve with, right? And that there is a comfort in where you are right now, right? So it's this like, I'm not fully happy and satisfied where I am, but it's comfortable, right? I really want to be here, but I'm too scared to make the leap. I'm too scared to make that transition, right? And it's important for you to feel the presence of your dreams and the possibilities that exist, right? And it's important for you to understand how that comfort and safety feels in the present, and also understand that what you really want is beyond what exists now, and that you can give yourself the opportunity to experience life from a different perspective when you open yourself up to other possibilities, and when you open yourself up to taking a chance and maybe loosening up that grip on the protection in your life and just going for it. So that's what I recommend you do. I recommend that you just go for whatever it is that you have, and it may or may not be easy, and you may or may not need support, and that's something that, keep that in mind. If you need support, whether it's from a friend or a family member or a coach, you can book sessions with me if you want. Allow yourself to get the support you need so that you can make the shift, because you deserve that. You deserve to be able to, I was like in my head, I feel like the physicality of it, like, sort of like the releasing of that resistance, right? The releasing of that shell of protection. Once you release that and you open yourself up to the possibilities, my goodness, then you open the door to what the universe has been holding for you for your whole life. And you can walk right in. All right, I want to see what the oracle cards have to say to us. And then we're going to go, because I got to go. I got things to do. And I'm sure you guys have things to do too. Whoop! I love this. Okay, 2 cards flew out. Okay, first one, number 15, message in a bottle, right? Message in a bottle. I love that. And the other one, number 39, new life. Okay, new life. This is the key, right? This is the key. You can create the life that you want if you are open to receiving it, right? If you are open to doing things a little bit differently that you have been, if you're open to practicing, right? Well, let's see what message in the bottle says. So 5 and 1 is 6. 6 is all about balance. And so that definitely speaks to me. All right, message in a bottle, communication, a sign, a kledon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. I believe that message in the bottle is the message that I'm giving you. That's what I think. I say, this is the message that you need to stop looking at your hesitation in life as self-sabotage and start looking at it as self-protection, thereby improving and that relationship that you have with your inner guide, okay? With that inner critic who is really just your best friend, right? Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open for someone that to say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. All right. So this also tells me keep your eyes open for signs. When you are in resistance to doing something, ask your spirit guides, ask the universe, ask God for a sign to give you a little confidence that you are moving into the right direction, right? Say, show me this, so that I know I'm on the right path. Send me numbers, send me angel numbers, send me feathers, right? Ask for what you want from your spiritual support team and watch how they show up for you, because you have to ask, right? And that goes for anybody. You have to ask for support. You have to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for what you need, because only in asking will you actually get an answer. Otherwise, you won't get an answer, right? Okay, new life. Let's see what this has to say about new life. And then we're going to wrap it up. Okay. Okay, new life, birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. When spring awakens the world and joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core, blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life where new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. Well, I would say that's a wonderful card to leave you guys off on. I wish you all the best. Please stop beating yourselves up. You are not self-sabotaging. You are protecting yourself, but you don't need protection anymore, because you got this. And if you do need help, I'm here. Go ahead, book a time with me from one of my links. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.